I am DYANAROZAY, and I bring a unique commentary to your favorite reality TV shows and whatever is popping on social media. If you are not a subscriber, please become one. Hit that notification bell too, that way you don't miss any of my videos. I go by DYANAROZAY on all platforms, and I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me. What's up, Supreme Team? Come on in, come on in. We are talking about Married to Medicine, you guys, season 11, episode 12. There is a poll at the top of the chat. I hope you guys had an opportunity to take it because, oh my goodness, Married to Medicine has a lot going on these last couple of episodes, okay? It has been very interesting. Come on in. Let me know where you guys are from. Put your city, your state, your country, your island into the chat, your territory, so that I can give you a shout out. Make sure you guys can hear me. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the chat. Let me put myself on camera. Here we go. What is up, everybody? Hey, 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 listen. I'm back on today. I'm giving y'all this review. I really enjoyed episode 12 of Married to Medicine. It was fantastic. I thought so. It's been very controversial, though. A lot of people have come out. I was surprised that so many people are on Phaedra's side. Oh, my goodness. I was not expecting that. What's up, Texas? Nice to see you. I was not expecting that. Did anybody watch Traitors, where they had like Phaedra and a whole bunch of other housewives? If you watch Traitors, the season that Phaedra was on, let me know in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you got an opportunity to watch that. What's up, DC? Come on in. Come on in. Okay, I see. Yes, I did. Okay, good, good. Welcome, Bree. Terry put a 1. Okay, listen. If you've never seen Traitors, it's a phenomenal show, okay? It's one of those shows like, you know, where they make you do a bunch of physical challenges and then you got to get voted off the island, basically, that type of thing. So they take a bunch of people from old TV shows, old reality shows, whatever, personalities to, you know, make things interesting. Come on in. You watched it? Okay. Someone said never watched it. So what basically happens is there's a group of people called traitors. It's about 3 or 4 of them that they pick. The traitors are considered the bad guys. They have all the power. At the end of every episode, they get to vote someone off or out of the game, okay? The faithfuls are all fighting for their life, okay? So the traitors get to vote off a faithful. The faithfuls also every episode have to decide which one of y'all are an actual traitor, okay? And the end, whoever wins, I think leaves with like $500,000. So a lot is on stake. A lot is at stake. There was a season with Phaedra and who else? Shireen, okay? And a whole bunch of other housewives was on that season as well. Come on in, Atlanta. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Anyway, y'all know Phaedra just makes whatever the height is so that you're not handicapped. She said this on RHOA. She was like, I'm 1 inch above needing a handicap sticker for my car. So she said, I just made it 1 inch, right? Just so you know. So some of those challenges was a little difficult for her based on strength and things like that. But Phaedra damn near won the series simply by being cunning, manipulative, remarkable liar, like all the things that's required to make people trust you and see you a certain way. Everybody believed Phaedra. And when people would doubt her, she knew how to hit them with the whammy so that they would be like, oh, damn, maybe I'm making a mistake. Phaedra was one of the most exquisite traitors ever. And they have different, like, you can have different countries that they go to. So I think there's one for England, one for the United States. It was impressive. It was impressive, okay? If you did not see it, you should see it, because what it tells us is that all the stuff that we've heard Candy, Kenya, Nene Leaks, who else? Everybody on that damn show who said Phaedra lies like a rug. Like sometimes you can't believe the lies that's coming out of her mouth. Her ex-husband Apollo has said it. Everybody has said it. People have written books about it. Y'all know there were people who just didn't like Phaedra enough to want to write a book about Phaedra. Phaedra is amazing, okay? Everything that some people, when they get close and personal with her, maybe like, ooh, you got to really be careful with her. That's what Candy ended up saying at the end. She was like, you guys, Phaedra's incredibly smart. And she is. She graduated from where? Is it Georgia University? Whichever college she graduated from for law, I think ranks like number 20 in the United States. So it's always been in either the top 10 or the top 20 out of damn near 200 law schools. Okay, just so you know, she has connections out the yayo. She's an entertainment attorney. Whatever college she graduated from, they produce more politicians and judges than any school in the United States. Y'all have no idea who y'all are dealing with when it comes to Phaedra Parks. The way she played Jackie, it was exquisite. That's one of the reasons why I love it. Okay, let's see. Yes, Faye was one of the best traders. She was the best trader ever. She walked in there not knowing anybody other than really Sheree, because Sheree was the only person on her team. But everybody else, all those people who play those crazy games where you eat bugs and you live in the woods for 9 years, she outsmarted all of them. She tricked all of them and had them believing that she was one of them, and she wasn't. It was great. Come on in. Welcome, Maryland. I appreciate you. Okay, I said all that to say that we're about to get into it because Phaedra yet again has played everybody, and they got people coming out saying Phaedra's a liar. Child. Whew, it's a mess. Okay, let's get into it. So episode 12 picks up exactly where they left off. I'm going to take this down, but y'all take the poll at the top because we'll get there. It picked up exactly where it left off on the beach, right? King and Dr. G has gotten into it. A whole bunch of behind the scene things have come in. What's up? Welcome, everybody. Hit the like button, please, y'all. 100 of you guys are here. Over 100. Just hit the like button for me. I love Phaedra, by the way. I have no bad things to say about her other than she knows how to play the game. That's not even a bad thing. She knows how to play the game. Okay? Chess, not checkers. She did what she needs to do on these TV shows because she gets it's TV. You know what I'm saying? I do want to give homage to Big Daddy Kane. That's my t-shirt today. Okay. Ain't no half stepping. Whew. The way I used to think Big Daddy Kane was going to be my husband when I was younger. Whew. Job. Anyway, he's not thinking about me. So it picks up where it left off. King and Dr. G are on the beach, and King had said to Dr. G, listen, I didn't realize you was talking to my woman. Okay. When you said shut the up, I didn't realize you was talking to my woman. So because of that, I'm gonna just need you to apologize. Okay. So he is standing a mano in Dr. G's face. Dr. G, I don't know why nobody has been paying attention. Dr. G, I told y'all in the last episode that I reviewed, he started that shit. Okay. He started it. He wanted it with that young man. He wanted to let him know, I will whoop your ass if I have to, right? But in this scene, Dr. G is standing in his face. He did something where he pulls a string off his tongue. He was like, I'm not apologizing. He basically says, I'm not apologizing. She says something to me. I'm going to say something to her. Okay. Apparently, there was also another conversation had that we didn't get to hear. First, I want to say hello to Miss Tina, my moderator. Thank you for coming in. Anyone that you see with a wrench behind their name, they're here to make sure you have a good time in the chat. Okay, so welcome, Miss Tina, and anyone else who shows in. But yes, I did say it. Now, I know a lot of people was like, that didn't happen, baby. It did happen. Anyway, after the end of it, the part we did not get to hear, according to some of the behind the scenes tea, is Dr. G says something about he ain't gonna fight him or some shit like that. And then King said, well, I hear you like to fight women. That's when everything goes crazy, right? Dr. G says something to the effect of, I know, I should know who you are because I know who your girl is, or something like that. And then Dr. G goes running backwards, right? He's running backwards. Everybody was broken up and broken apart before any real, any pops happen. Okay, nobody got mollywopped, but Chet runs and grabs King. King spins out of his shirt, so you just get to see all his, abs and everything. Snatches his glasses off, throws them, and he runs down for Dr. G. He lets Dr. G know, you did a lot of talking. I don't think that King was going to, get busy with him, but he let him know you did a lot of talking and now you ain't got shit to say. So Dr. G punked King in episode 11. He did. And by the end of it, King punked Dr. G. Okay. But all the men has broken them up. They broke them up long before the women go running down the beach. You see Sweet Tea swing out of Phaedra's arms or hands, and she takes off running, okay? While Quad is running up the other side talking about, baby, no, please, no, baby. I was like, girl, not you coming through with them acting skills. Listen, I feel like Quad was a little too hyped with the baby, please, no, please, baby. That was a little too much for me, but I feel like she may have been turning it up just a bit, because when Sweet Tea beelines it for King, like she was going to whoop King's ass, Quad turns around, yanks Sweet Tea by her shoulders and said, go that way. Your man is down there. Go to your husband. No, you go to your husband. So Quad snapped out of it immediately to check Sweet Tea. Oh, it was great. Anyway, Sweet Tea gets turned around by Cecil and Simone, because they end up seeing what was going on, that she was trying to whoop. She was trying to go after King. Listen, Sweet Tea, oh my God, if only you watched the episode first, girl. Anyway, Simone, Cecil grab her. They try to push her down the way. But from what I'm understanding, this is also behind the scenes. Sweet Tea was so, energized, active, that she pushed both Simone and Cecil to the ground. Okay, y'all leave me the fuck alone, get off of me. So when we hear Sweet Tea screaming and, people are hugging her, you're safe, you're okay, and people are speaking tongues over her, Phaedra, it was most likely because she was just in a rage and she started knocking everybody down. I don't even think it had to do with, unfortunately, her husband getting into a fight at that moment, or almost a fight, because it wasn't a real fight. But she ends up being so emotional and having so much, angst, that she wanted to whoop somebody's ass. She couldn't do it. So she flips out. They start holding her and hugging her. And that was a mess. Okay. Come on in, everybody. Welcome. Quad sounded like she had a roll and Gone with the Wind. Let me tell you, Quad ran up that damn beach with all that ass. I was like, what's she about to do, child? But when she started screaming, baby, no, baby, please, I went, oh no, Quad. That don't even look like it didn't even sound like it would have come from you, to be honest. But I do know that Sweet Tea was off the chain. She wanted to whoop ass, which is exactly why the rest of the show, you hear everybody speaking about her like she's out of control. Just an FYI, in case people weren't paying attention to that. Okay, but they got Sweet Tea in a prayer circle, child. And her knees are buckling. She's so upset. She's like falling to the ground and they're holding her up. Toya walks past with whatever the hell she's sipping on, looking like, you got to be kidding me. Like, Toya is fit to be tied, but she is standing right in front of him. And I'm not going to lie, I feel like I would have done the same thing. Like, I just would have been staring at it like, what the hell is going on? You had Jackie, Heavenly, and Simone standing like off on the side on the beach. The three of them are mesmerized at what is happening, listening to them speak tongues and stuff. They are mesmerized. And I think maybe even Heavenly said, is she speaking tongues? And they were like, yeah, I think so. The men were shocked. The men were shocked. Eugene is like, what the hell is going on now? Like, this literally took everybody by complete surprise. Okay. Um, It looked like he swung on him and missed. I don't think he got to him. If he did swing on him, I saw him do like this with his hands. You know what I'm saying? Like he was trying to get around Chet, I believe. But at the end of the day, so many of the men ran up on them and they were just all bear hugging everybody. Everybody was getting bear hugged. Sweet Tea had the most people on her. Sweet Tea had more people on her than the actual men. And that's not a lie. Okay. Anyway, we get into it, child. Toya's watching like, what the hell is going on? You get Eugene. He's just fit to be tied. He tells Quad and King, he said, y'all just go walk down the beach, walk down the sandbar, just beat it. We just need y'all to have some space. I can't believe this shit is happening. While that's going on, Quad catches, or I should say King catches Quad up, basically letting her know that he tried to defend her honor. He said that Greg admitted that he told you to shut the F up the other night. And he said, I told him to apologize to you and to never speak to you again. He shouldn't be doing that. Quad, again, child. I don't know if you've been going to school or not, but Juilliard is missing out. Quad went, oh, he said that about me. You know damn well he said that about you. Everybody heard it, girl. Anyway, she pretends like she has no clue what's going on. You hear Dr. G on the other side of the beach lying his ass off, okay? He said, King demanded an apology from me, and I apologized, and that wasn't enough. He wanted to talk shit, and then he come after me. That's not what happened, Greg. We all watched. Okay, now I will say this. Quad was drunk off her ass when she was talking shit to Greg. At least that's what everybody who was a part of the huddle said, including Greg. He said to Sweet Tea, she was drunk, and I know who she is and how she gets when she's drunk. You should have shut up like I told you to do. Greg, what's your excuse? You weren't drunk. You were sipping water and smoking a cigar. You weren't drunk when you got in that man's face. You weren't drunk when you was 1 Letitia, 2 Letitia, 3 Letitia. You were of sound mind and body, Dr. Greg. Okay, so don't forget that. Greg was sober when he went after that man. Quad was drunk. And Quad, from what I'm understanding, including Greg, her ex, said, I know who she is when she gets like that. So I don't know. There was a lot going on. Greg lied his ass off, though. And this is important because for Greg to lie the way he did and then go to the police department, file an attempted assault charge, and then go to the network to get that man kicked off the show says a lot. Okay? All is fair in love and war. All is fair in love and war. This is what's going down here. All right? So long story short, what else we have? We got Apollo talking to Shireen, because y'all know Shireen and Phaedra had gotten into it. But Apollo makes the comment, I've known Phaedra since 1997, and I have never seen her get into any shit like this. That made me laugh. So according to more behind the scenes tea, Shireen came for Phaedra. And it sounds like she might have won, child, but she was talking about Phaedra, talking about her children. So she really did overstay her welcome. She was a guest on that show. That platform belonged to Phaedra, not to Apollo and not to Shireen. So for Shireen to come on and be as nasty and as messy as she was tells us exactly what type of person Shireen is, child. You can't be messing up your blessings, baby. Okay? What do y'all got to say? Well, listen, Greg was not drunk, but like I said, it was Greg who gave Quad an excuse for her behavior. Greg said she's drunk. This is how she is when she's drunk. That's going to forever be immortalized on the show. Nothing that we can do about it. They just didn't know how to handle themselves. Okay. Now, in confessional, we get a scene with Sweet Tea and Greg where they are watching the playback of Greg going off and him and King almost getting into it. And also, Sweet Tea damn near buckling and about to, fall into the ground, having all those people pray over her. After all of that shit, these two are watching that playback in confessional, and Sweet Tea says something like, well, we was ready to go home so we can get our sexy on. And she says, I know what you like, to Greg, right? So now these two are pretending like they about to get busy, like that excited them enough to want to do it. Listen, only time people deflect like that when you are in a couples relationship is because y'all know that shit looked abusive. Okay. Period. All of a sudden, y'all talking about getting busy. Heifer, don't do that no more. If Sweet Tea was my child, I don't give a damn if she is in her 30s. I would definitely call her and say, baby, get off that show. You are embarrassing me, your daddy, your siblings, your aunties, your uncles, your your big mama, all of us. Get off of that show today. Sweet Tea, you played yourself, okay? I'm just going to say it. Now, Simone lets everybody know that she has to charter 2 boats. After people are threatening to go home, Sweet Tea and Greg said they wanted to go home. Phaedra and Chet say they want to go home. Simone says, I'm going to charter 2 boats to make sure that y'all don't get into it on this damn boat and somebody throws someone over the side, right? So they put Phaedra, Chet, Dr. G, and Sweet Tea on one boat, and they put everybody else on the other. When I tell y'all that this was the most poignant part of the episode, Dr. G, literally by himself, after all the shit that went down, while Sweet Tea is in a huddle with Phaedra and Chet, talking about she doesn't want to commit elderly abuse if she has to whoop Heavenly's ass, okay? Which, by the way, she is insulting her old ass husband who is older than Heavenly. Okay, look at his face when she says that. He was so disgusted. I cannot believe Sweet Tea. Oh my gosh, she is aloof, baby. But they showed every angle of them sitting on this boat and how Sweet Tea ignored her husband altogether, had her whole body turned into Phaedra and Chet having a good ass time, talking about Apollo. Look at Greg. I'm surprised Greg didn't jump. Just look at his face. When Quad makes a comment, when she said Greg married the best person for him and he told her to shut the fuck up, this is the face he's making right now because he knows Quad was right. Quad was right. She was teasing you for sure because she makes a comment after where she said, all the work I put into you and this is who you choose. But Greg knows he's not compatible. They're not. I'm sorry. Nobody should be rooting for this shit because Greg is a mess, okay? But anyway, they're on the boat. They're doing their thing on Dr. G's boat. Nobody's giving him attention. He feels like he had to fight for his damn life, like he almost got attacked, and nobody is saying 2 words to him. His wife is not focusing on him at all, okay? On the other boat, it seems a little more lively. Dr. Jackie's making fun of King saying that him and Quad gets it in 15 times a week. She said, listen, I don't want to get you in trouble. I don't want you to get in trouble. But she said, go on ahead and get that 15 time in so you can relax, child. We don't need you fighting and doing things. We get a scene between Contessa and Heavenly, who seem to be a little closer now that Sweet Tea is popping off, right? These two seem to be a little closer and cordial with each other. Dr. Contessa asked Heavenly, what's really going on between you and Sweet Tea? And Dr. Heavenly said, that little girl's too volatile for me. I don't know what all this popping and jumping and shit is. Dr. Contessa did the most condescending and patronizing thing. So anybody who thinks that Dr. Contessa is Sweet Tea's friend, no. Because in this scene, she says, yeah, well, when she's not mad, she's really sweet. That's not what you want your friend to say on camera. That's not what you want your friend to say on camera. So she's basically saying that she's out of control with her emotions. Okay. She says it again in confessional at least twice. She made fun of her last time when Quad came over with that damn invitation for her birthday party. What did she say? Maybe you should go home so you can get yours. That's not a friend. Just so you know, she's making fun of her in the worst way on camera. We know that Sweet Tea doesn't like that. So y'all don't be putting those two together because not Quad, Contessa is going to choose herself. She wants to be on the show. She wants to be on the show. Okay. How would you look if you were being verbally harassed? I don't know. Tell me. Who are you talking about? Who are you talking about, lady? Lady Lucy, are you talking to someone in the chat? Probably. Anyway, after this scene, we get a meetup with Apollo and Shireen. Okay. Basically, Phaedra told Apollo, I will not film with you. I will not have a phone conversation on camera with you because she's pissed. You done brought your damn wife onto this show. And now, you know, of course, cameras are going to want to film what happens next. Phaedra said under no circumstances am I effing with Apollo and his ex-wife, okay? So Apollo comes, he meets with Heavenly and Simone instead because they got to do a follow-up scene. They go up in there. Apollo lets everybody know right away that he has called Phaedra several times and she has refused to take his call. Well, what do you expect? Okay, Apollo? Never gonna happen, sir. Heavenly apologizes to Apollo for what happened. She said, I didn't know it was going to go left like that. She said, at the end of the day, I blame Phaedra for bringing Chet. I don't. That's Phaedra's platform. What is happening? Phaedra had a right to bring Chet. And let me tell you something else. If I found out that my ex-husband and his thirsty ass wife, and we're not going to pretend like Phaedra didn't get a heads up because we know that Phaedra knows people over there on Bravo. If I'm not mistaken, it was Nene Leakes who let the cat out the bag, that Phaedra was doing some legal shit for Bravo over there on RHOA, and then they asked her to be a part of the show. Okay, so it's not like Phaedra doesn't have connections over there. She does, which is why when she found out that there was an opening for her to return to RHOA, she was okay with basically nailing that whole casket closed. Okay, I ain't never coming back on this motherfucker. All right, so she said, I'm not filming with them. I'm not filming with Heavenly. I'm not filming with anybody. I'm going to take my ass up off this island. But she lets her ex-husband know, you're not getting any more juice from me, okay? I don't know who you're going to film with, but it won't be me. Anyway, she had every right to bring Chet. Chet's there. Phaedra, like I said, was playing chess. Apollo makes the comment, well, Chet is my best friend, and I do believe that's where things went left. However, after everything was done, when we got back to Key West, he said that Chet called him and said, I'm downstairs waiting. Let's go to the strip club. So this again lets us know it was all smoke and mirrors. It was all for the show. Okay. The only person who didn't know how to play the game was Shireen. I think that Apollo would have taken that much better. In fact, he did take it better. It was only Shireen that actually flipped out and gave us way too much, gave Phaedra way too much, period. Okay. Let me see what y'all got to say. On point with Contessa, facts. I hope nobody's getting fooled by Contessa. Contessa will fold that little girl up. Remember what she said to what's Eugene's wife name, Toya? She said some of the coldest shit I've ever heard on reality TV. That her and Toya was fighting, and she told Toya that eagles don't fuck with chickens. And Toya said, I'm a chicken hawk. And I was like, not a chicken hawk, baby girl, an eagle is it. That is the highest you can go, is an eagle. Everybody at the table just went, oh my God, Toya, read a book. Like, it was so sad. but she don't play those games with people, and she ain't gonna let anybody take her spot. Okay, she is very competitive. Long story short, um, this entire scene between Simone and the Heavenly and Apollo and his wife was strictly to tell the viewers, to tell us, the people watching, that Phaedra was playing on everybody's tops. Okay, the fact that Chet and Apollo leaves to go to a strip club, leaving their respective others in the house after they just, flipped out on each other, tells us everything we need to know. If you really was somebody that I fucked with, you're never going to leave and be with the enemy. You're going to stay with me at least until we get to ATL. And then you can do whatever you want to, but not while we're both on the island, sir. Never going to happen. So that whole scene was to let us know that Phaedra was putting it on a little thicker than she needed to. And there was a lot of people that bought into it. But just so y'all know, ain't nobody doing that. I don't care. And I don't know if Chet and Phaedra stayed in the same room. Every time they filmed, they were in the room together, but they may not have stayed in the same room. It doesn't matter. If Phaedra paid that man to come to that island and play her boyfriend for a few minutes, he should have followed the contract. You don't go stay with that. You don't go out with your homie after I got into a fight with his wife. Just doesn't happen. All right. Moving on. Okay. There's also a scene. Oh, well, here we go. We're talking about Phaedra and Jackie now. This is where Phaedra said, I'm gonna make my grand exit. Okay. Because again, Phaedra does play chess, not checkers, child. She had already called for a private plane the night before. She knew it was what time it was going to come. She told them cameras to be there, and she told them to make sure it's just Jackie. Don't bring Heavenly into my room. But she says to Jackie, I'm disappointed in you the most. I'm disappointed in you the most because you should have never let my ex and his wife show up on the beach. And just to be honest, what she probably was really saying is when she and Chet was down the beach, all the ladies on the cast was in the water with Shireen, right? So she doesn't know all the things Shireen was saying to them, but she does know that when her and Chet went to join them, they had a bunch of questions for her about, or questions for Chet. Like, I thought you were friends with Shireen. So that's when she was like, those bitches ain't my friends. Why would they even entertain this? So that's what she's saying to Jackie here. Like, y'all are a bunch of mean girls. Y'all don't know y'all don't practice loyalty of any kind, because I should have been the person you were loyal to, not listening to Shireen. That bitch is a guest, okay? And truly a guest of mine, because they wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for me. So she is letting Jackie have it. Jackie said, well, I don't understand why you could. Well, first she says, number one, I didn't know your ex and his wife was coming. I thought Heavenly told you, which she did. She did tell her. And like I said, I also believe that Phaedra does have some pull with the network, just like Heavenly said, when they tried to talk about Apollo in season, 10? She said Phaedra was calling people and telling them what they can and cannot ask, and that people were calling them from the network or from production saying, don't bring this up, don't bring this up. There's no way that she didn't have the heads up that she deserved. She deserved the heads up too, by the way. Bringing Chet was the right thing to do, in my opinion. But like I said, she tells Jackie, at the end of the day, y'all a bunch of mean girls. You don't know loyalty. She says that off screen. She says something to the effect of, I understand why all these women have hard times. The new people coming in have a hard time because this is a bunch of mean girls. But then Bravo, being who they are, exquisitely shady, they play a flashback of Phaedra basically complimenting the ladies on Married to Medicine, saying if these ladies were, on RHOA, I might not be divorced right now. They really know how to hold up for each other, stand up for each other, or want the best for each other. She said that doesn't happen on RHOA. So see the contradiction? Again, that was Bravo, that was production playing Phaedra, even though they gave her another check to go on over to RHOA, child. But she's going to do what she's going to do. She understands how TV works. I agree. I don't think that Sweet Tea likes it there either. So I don't think she likes the cast. And y'all know that Bravo pays the women. They don't pay the men. So everybody was like, well, Dr. G's a real doctor. Dr. G doesn't get paid. His wife gets paid. Now, I don't know if Dr. G has a contract with Sweet Tea where she gives him 10% of her earnings or something like that, because we've heard that that actually does happen. But Dr. G does not get paid on this show. Sweet Tea does. So Sweet Tea, it was in her best interest not to, pop everybody all season long with that produced YouTube show. She was really giving way too much to everybody, and for them to, for her to expect to come back or be welcomed with open arms. It was bad. But long story short, Phaedra ends up getting on a private plane, her and Chet, rich bitch behavior, and she deuced out everybody. She said, I will not be coming back to this mother. Okay, I'm done. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. Okay. Um, so Apollo is not an actual cast member. Apollo is a guest. Greg is showing up as a cast member, but he does not get paid because none of the men on Bravo gets paid. Apollo would get paid for an appearance, just like Peter got paid for an appearance, right? They get paid for appearances, but Greg does not get paid on the show. He's coming on as a husband. As a husband, the wife gets paid. And from what I'm understanding, sometimes there's contracts where the wives will pay their husbands to film. That was even true for Tardy for the Party with Kim and her husband. I mean, you have to take it up with the network. I don't make those rules, child. Greg is not a paid member, neither is Cecil or who else. All the husbands. None of the husbands Married to Medicine or the Real Housewives sector, the franchise, none of the husbands or boyfriends get paid. You will do better coming on as a guest. But if you sign that contract, you're signing for the wife. Croy, thank you. Kim and Croy. Croy did not get paid for Tardy for the Party either. Only Kim. And Kim, from what I'm understanding, gave him like 10 or 20% of whatever the contract was. She said he was a manager or something, and that's how he got paid out. Anyway, next step is the social club. So the ladies all meet at the social club. This is their way of rehashing everything that happened at the sandbar. Of course, we don't have the Lunsfords. They're gone. Chet and Phaedra are gone, okay? How many male doctors are there on Married to Medicine? Before Greg came back, it was just Toya's husband, right? Toya's husband has come out and already said that his wife, Eugene said, my wife pays all the bills. She gets paid more than me on this show than I get paid as a doctor. Do y'all think that those ladies are going to let Sweet Tea mess up their paycheck? That's why she got voted off the island by the end of the show. Okay. But before that, it was just Dr. Eugene. Oh, Dr. Damon. Dr. Damon also. But the women are the ones getting paid, just so y'all know. And this ain't a secret, child. Y'all should know this already. This has been told forever. I think it would actually, all this shit came out when Love and Marriage Huntsville came out, because we found out that the men do get paid on that show. And that was one of the differences between Carlos King's franchise and the Bravo Housewives franchise. Okay, so you guys are telling me Scott, Dr. Damon, Dr. Eugene, they're all doctors. They don't get paid. Y'all know this. Y'all know this. Okay, listen. Don't go stumping the yard for Dr. G, child. There's a lot of things that's going on in the world that really do require our attention if we want to protest. Dr. G getting paid to be on that show is not one of them. Okay, I don't care who it is. They are fine. Okay, put your energies into something else. Figure out who your state reps are and go on ahead and give them a call for all the bullshit that's going on. Ask them things, okay? But do not stump the ground for Dr. G. We don't care. He's not broke, child. He's fine. All right, now here we go. The ladies are at the social. I told y'all who wasn't there, but basically this is a chance for them to rehash everything that happened at the sandbar. And I think it's Dr. Simone who says something like, she has never in the history of being on this show had a situation where that many arguments popped off, and then they show everybody getting into arguments, okay? And she said at the end of the day, the worst part of it was Dr. G and King. She can't believe that they almost came to fisticuffs, okay? And while all that is going on, all of the men go to a cigar shop, a hand-rolled cigar shop, where they are, basically talking about amongst each other about what happened the night before, trying to convince the newcomer, Mimi's husband, I forgot his name. I think it might be Kevin or something, the football player. They're trying to let him know this doesn't happen all the time. Usually the men stay out of the women's business. We do not fight. It is unfortunate that this had to come, it had to come to blows with Dr. G and King. And it is actually Damon, who's usually the most reasonable and, trying to get people to get along. He says, I love every single one of y'all. I think you're good men. I think you're good fathers. But the truth of the matter is, I'm siding with King on this one. Okay. What Dr. G did was unacceptable. And I understand him wanting to defend his woman. So Dr. Damon is letting everybody know he's on King's side. And to be honest, all of the men seem to be saying, I'm on King's side at some point in the show. They feel like Dr. G, they saw how it revved up and that it was just too much. It is literally everybody is on King's side. So moving on. Now we are, I guess, heading into this the last couple session, right? So they're talking about the friendships in this section. And they're getting ready to go to wherever this event is going to happen. There is a group of people in one of the black SUVs who calls Greg and Sweet Tea. Now, I'm going to assume that this is at least 24 hours, maybe 48 hours after Greg and Sweet Tea has left the island. Okay, because they left that morning, I guess, and so they're moving into another day. Anyway, they call Greg and Sweet Tea, and Greg is just as pissed. I mean, his energy, what he's giving off is saying, I'm just as mad today, 24 to 48 hours later, than I was, when we were on the beach. Just as mad as I was when we were on the beach. And they're kind of like, well, we are real sad that you ain't here, Greg. Like, are you okay? Did you feel like you were unwelcome? Because that's the last thing we want. You deserve to be a part of this too. You should have stayed. Greg says, no, I'm glad I ain't there. Me and Sweet Tea, we done, all that kind of shit. And yeah, so that's how that part ends, right? Contessa closes her phone. She says something else where she seems like she wants to be supportive, but she's not. Okay. Now we have Dr. G and Sweet Tea in Atlanta. I'm so embarrassed about this scene. I don't even know where to begin, but we are in Atlanta. Okay. We have a scene with Dr. G, Sweet Tea. They are basically rehashing what happened on the sandbar between Greg and King. I have never seen anybody more tone deaf. I've never seen anyone who could not read a room. How old is Sweet Tea? 30 something. She definitely has she's just aloof. There's no other way to put it. I asked y'all to take a poll at the beginning. Let me see if y'all took the poll, okay? Let me put that up real quick. Okay. So I asked you guys, true or false? I said, sweet tea, you in danger, girl. I said, is that true or false? Y'all may recognize that from what was the show? Ghost with Whoopi Goldberg and Patrick Swayze. You in danger, girl. Okay. After watching that scene, 63% of you said true. Even Patrick Swayze can see it from the grave, child. 22% of you said false. She's just a little aloof. And 14% of you said that you was casing sausage. Okay. That is hilarious. Yes, listen. Sweet tea, that's my vote. Sweet tea, you in danger, girl, after watching this scene, okay? All right, let me get myself back on camera. Just 63, I'm concerned. You concerned about the 63%? Yeah. More people need to be concerned. So I literally said, I would, if I was her mama, I would have called her after that episode, after watching that, and said, girl, come home. Come home. Okay. I don't know what's going on here. Anyway. So this is, for me, this is everything that I need to see about their relationship. T asked Dr. G how he was feeling, right? And he says, I'm worn out. I'm worn out. I'm embarrassed. I'm a bunch of things. TC says ditto. I'm worn out too. She said, I didn't know I could run that fast. Okay. So T's looking for a little, pat on the back. Like, I almost saved my man's life kind of pat on the back. And you can see it. You saw it on the boat. You saw it when we were on this boat ride. Okay. He is feeling like his efforts was not recognized by his wife. Right. So, Dr. G said it was annoying, it was embarrassing. And then he says what he shouldn't have said for people who, have a little discernment. He said, what really pissed me off is her, referring to Quad, saying that she left me. She left me. I ain't got time for that bullshit. I want to hear that bullshit. Why are you angry right now? Who cares? You are supposed to be in love with somebody else. You shouldn't even heard her say that. When she said it, if you really thought it was bullshit, you would have laughed and said, best thing that ever happened was your ass walked out the door. There's a lot of things that you could have said that would have shown that you were over it. But right now, you're putting 20 on 10 and it's not cool. Okay. So he's saying this to Sweet Tea. Sweet Tea says, you can't let her get to you. You can't let her bother you. She's filling up a whole glass of ice water, hands him ice water with a straw. Okay. He said, I don't like leaving stuff. Greg says, I don't like leaving stuff, but somebody was going to get hurt. Okay. It was a toxic environment. Okay. Then Greg says, I feel like if Chet had been there, it would have been a fight to the death. Now, even a dog who doesn't speak words, okay, would have been able to sense that he needed his ego to be, pumped up a little bit. A hug, thank God you my man, or something. This little girl says, now, really, it wasn't all that. Okay. I wouldn't say that. It wasn't all that. Dr. G gives the nastiest bitch. Wait a minute. What? He says, do you know him? How can you say that? Why would you vouch for him? Do you know him? Sweet Tea says, no, I don't know him, but I was there and it wasn't going to be all that. Damn it, Sweet Tea. Dr. G says, how do you know? She says, because I'm trained. I'm combat trained. I'm combat trained. I'm combat trained. Now listen. This is the thing. The fact that he was giving Sweet Tea everything he could to let her know, don't do it. I am telling you, I am not okay with where this conversation is going. Don't play me like I'm not a man, okay? I need in this moment to feel like I am a protector, like I was going to, like, I was there to defend your honor, because this shit has to be about something other than quad, is really what Dr. G is begging you to do. And he's saying it in every way imaginable, okay? But when she says, I'm combat trained, he says in the nastiest tone, okay? He literally channeled Mr. from The Color Purple. Combat my ass. You a woman at the end of the day. Lights out, baby. Okay. I was like, I rewound that scene 100 times. Anyway, the gloves are off for both of them at this point, because clearly Sweet Tea can't read a room for shit. Okay. And Dr. G is in a space with Sweet Tea where he realizes, can I do this for the next 20 years? What, you know what I'm saying? Sweet Tea keeps saying shit like you don't have time left. Now, she said that when they were talking about getting pregnant. She was like, well, Gregory wants a baby now because, he ain't got much time left. You said that on your confessional, Sweet Tea. Even when you did that, I was like, girl, I thought you was in some sort of group where you, for women dating older men, like, you got to know that's not cool to say ever, but goddamn. Okay, so that was crazy. You being on that boat and saying that if you hit that woman, it was going to be elderly abuse. He's older than Heavenly, so don't do that either. And now you are sitting at a table with a bunch of camera, a whole production team, where you were letting a man who thought he was, he felt like he was defending you for a little bit. You were there to tell him, listen, you never had anything to worry about, because I was going to whoop King's ass, okay? You're not his protector like that, girl. Oh my God, Sweet Tea. So he's pissed. And Greg is old school. So at the end of the fucking day, girl, Anyway, after he does the whole child, you a woman, which was nasty. Sweet Tea is like, cut it out. Cut it out. You know what I'm saying? She gives a good, where she starts biting her lip. Don't say it. You know what you're doing, Greg. Don't do it. She's making all those fucking faces. I'm like, Sweet Tea, just get up and say, you know what? I'm gonna take a walk. Y'all don't have to stay at that table. Either way, Greg looks at her dead in the eye, child, tilted his head up a little bit, squinted, like literally. All I got was Ike from the Ike and Tina Turner movie. Because this is, I'm done with you. I've had it. And he says, this is what I'm talking about. You're naive, T. You're naive. That's sweet. That's sweet. Now she's like, Greg, that's not going to get you anywhere. Baby, it wasn't meant to get you anywhere, okay? It wasn't meant to get him anywhere. He was definitely insulting you. He was patronizing you. He was being condescending. That was not a compliment. Just the fact that you didn't even know that. You thought that he was trying to package that like you're sweet. No, he wasn't. He was literally on camera saying to you, when I file them papers, I need everybody to know why, because this is not going to last, especially if y'all stay on TV, okay? But she's like, calm down. Now she's like under her breath. Could you just calm down? Could you just calm down? Greg tries to get her to see it his way again, okay? He says, listen, what did you think he had on his mind when he charged me? Sweet Tea, yet again, says, I hear what you're saying, Greg. I hear you. I don't think it was going to be all that. That's my opinion. I'm entitled to my opinion. Then you need to get the fuck up out of there. Because, ma'am, I get it. I understand that we are in a new age and not everybody goes by roles, but you don't marry a man that's that old and not ask those fundamental questions, okay? Because he don't see you as his equal in any capacity. in any capacity. He didn't see Quad as his equal either. Okay. When he told Quad, I've been taking care of you since the day I met you. Okay. Remember that? And then he drove off in that damn Mini Cooper, like went, got his golf clubs and ran out the house. Don't, you got to pay attention to the telltale signs. If you want to watch the show, like everybody begged you to do, child, just watch episode 11, 14, and this, that, and the other. If you just would have watched, you wouldn't be here right now. This is on you at this point. Okay. So he says what he needed to say. She said, I don't think it's, listen, Greg, it's my opinion. I'm entitled to it. Now you're fighting to embarrass him. Girl, bye. Okay. Anyway, Greg ran up them damn steps. He said, okay, he's out. He walks away. Sweet Tea sits there for a good 2 seconds. I don't know, 5 seconds maybe. I don't know if the camera crew was like, you need to go upstairs and keep this conversation going. I wish they wouldn't have, though. I wish she would have just said, can we cut? Because it needed to be cut. But Sweet Tea goes upstairs. She follows after Greg. You hear the both of them on a hot mic, okay? He basically, she says something in confessional that this bothered me when she said this shit in confessional. She said, I don't know why he's leaving. I'm all he got. That's some abusive shit to say. It's abusive for him to say it to you, and it's abusive for you to say it about him. He has a brother. He has friends. He has family of his own. You know what I'm saying? And so do you. So I'm kind of curious, is this stuff that he says to you to keep you in the relationship now? Because that's the shit abusers say. You know what I'm saying? When they've gone too far and you want to leave, and they'll be like, you're all I got. You understand me. That type of shit. I was confused why she would say, I'm all he got, but she says that. She ends up going up the steps. When she goes into the room, you hear the words, it's your fault. This is Greg saying this to Sweet Tea. It's your fault. Don't say shit to make me go off. Think you know everything, don't you? All of that was Ike Turner, baby. Okay? It's your fault I cussed you out in front of all those people. It's your fault you made me insult you. It won't be long before he says, if he hasn't already, it's your fault you made me go upside your head, because that's really the energy it was giving. Like, baby, anything I do to you is your fault. You make me come up out of character. You make me be nasty to you. Sweet Tea is like, it's really not, Greg. It's really not. I'm just looking out for the team. Don't call me naive. Don't call me naive. Be quiet. Be quiet. Be quiet. Sweet Tea saying all that shit. Greg is saying, if you're looking out for the team, then you listen to what the leader of the team said. Okay? Then he said, I don't know who you talking to. What comes after I don't know who you talking to? A backhand. What is going on in this relationship? Okay. Then he says, stop saying stupid stuff and you won't get the reaction that you get. You won't get a reaction that you don't want. It's your fault. It's your fault. Anyway, that was an ugly scene. I don't care what y'all say or how you try to divert the attention to Heavenly or Quad or King. That was all Dr. G and Sweet Tea. And even though he was on the beach saying, this is my fault, I brought you, referring to his wife, I brought you into my shit. This is my mess. He quickly turned the script and he said what was on his heart because he was mad and he was sober. She gave him a glass of damn ice water before that scene happened. The fact that production zoomed in on the ice water, okay? Like, don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. He's sober. Lets me know everything I need to know about him. Okay? I'm just telling y'all, it was ugly. It was ugly. And then I don't know if y'all had an opportunity to watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, but Dr. G was sitting in the audience. They had Sweet Tea and Dr. Contessa as the guest, okay? Andy plays the scene of Dr. G and King running down a beach for Dr. G. And he said, how do you feel about your husband almost getting into it with King? And Her exact words were, he did the best that he could do. Again, diminishing his manhood, because that's what Dr. G thinks. He believes that she's diminishing his manhood. And this is the exact face that he gave on Watch What Happens Live. Okay. And I agree with you, whether it was alcohol or not, or water or not, he shouldn't have done those things. But they were letting us know, in case people were thinking, well, what they sipping on? What caused this? There was nothing other than sober reaction to his wife and her sober reaction to him. Okay. Period. Okay. So after that scene is up, the friendship therapy session. Okay. So they show up. Dr. Mimi has a bunch of lemons. They're supposed to give it a squeeze. The rules are that whoever has the lemon gets to get whatever they have on their chest, off their chest, without interruption. And Simone is the one who is giving everybody the rules, and she makes sure to say to Quad and Toya, okay, because you two love to break the damn rules. If you're not holding the lemon, don't say shit. Okay, so she says that. Then she basically kind of hones in on what Phaedra said. Again, not to give Phaedra any weight, because that's not what this scene is about. It's basically to say that Phaedra's a liar. Okay, so she says, listen, we've been called a bunch of mean girls, but I know that shit isn't true, because if it wasn't for all of y'all, I wouldn't still be married to Cecil, right? So she's saying our group, out of all the other shows, have always come through when it comes to the friendship aspect, right? So she's trying to get that off her chest. And we know that Scott and Contessa almost had a moment. They're still together. Who else? Jackie and her husband, Curtis, they're still together. And of course, Simone and Cecil, their relationship was saved. The only divorce that has happened is between Quad and Dr. G. Okay. But she said, yeah, we got a lot of different personalities. What did she say exactly? She said, I'm not going to say that this group doesn't have their flaws. Okay. When she says, I'm not going to say that this group doesn't have their flaws, Cecil responds with a hearty, So he makes this noise. And everybody was like, oh, shit. Simone looks at Cecil like, you got something to say? Child, she stared at him for it felt like a good 2 minutes. Cecil would not look down. He started looking around at everybody. And he said, this is what I get paid to do. This is what I get paid to do. I don't know why that made me laugh so hard, but I was crying. In confessional, they are watching the scene again. Cecil is doubled over in laughter. Simone is still just staring at him like, you thought you got one off, didn't you? You did not, okay? That shit was hilarious. But anyway, they end up having their moments. They asked Dr. Mimi to hold the floor. They said, this is your specialty. You're a psychiatrist. What's your opinions on exes coming into the group? And she said, listen, this is the new woman, okay? The new cast member. She said, at the end of the day, if you are an ex and your former partner is on the show, she said, unless y'all have done the work, y'all should not be on the show together. It's a hard no, because we shouldn't all have to suffer for your shit, right? So I think after that, who took the lemon after that? I think it was Dr. Jackie, and she said, I'm going to let y'all know right now, don't bring no exes on this damn show, okay? Me and Curtis, we barely making it. You know what I'm saying? No, she didn't say that, but she was like, don't bring any of Curtis's old women or current women. I don't even know where he's at right now. Just don't bring him. You know what I'm saying? I'm a feel away if y'all do. Heavenly takes her lemon, and she said, I feel the same as Dr. Jackie. Don't bring no shit over here. We done with that. You know what I'm saying? Then Toya takes the lemon, okay? Toya, who has done some nasty shit on this show. The crazy part about all of them talking about how nasty everybody was, y'all didn't even do half the shit y'all used to do when it was Quad, Mariah, Lisa Nicole, y'all used to do some, Dr. Darren, y'all used to do some horrible shit back in those days. This is so lightweight, it makes no sense. But they're all having this conversation. Toya was like, I want to say that I actually agree with Phaedra. We have done some mean shit to people. And, you know, she's speaking from personal experience now, what Heavenly and Dr. Jackie, she, you know, Toya used to have a really hard time on the show, right? And she got better after she started doing that wine thing, because she had her own career and she started being the one making all the money. She ended up having more of a personality that wasn't so victim-y. So she's on there saying, don't forget, I haven't forgotten about the shit y'all did to me. So this is what she's really saying. But she was like, we can be mean girls and that kind of thing. And they're like, yeah, girl, bye. Okay. But then we get Quad and King to take the limit afterwards. And she was just like, at the end of the day, I'm not telling anybody to throw my ex-husband away. If you guys were friends with him before, continue to be friends with him, because, you know, it is what it is. But I am asking that you put yourself in my shoes. You know what I'm saying? Put yourself in my shoes before you make any more decisions about putting me in the same room with Greg and Sweet Tea. And it sounds like they are voting Sweet Tea and Dr. G off the island. Okay, that's what it sounds like. Listen, y'all said Heavenly let Carlos produce her with that X shit. You don't remember Quad bringing on a gay man to say that he slept with Dr. Darren? Because I do. I don't think these ladies need anybody to talk them into anything. They used to be ruthless on Married to Medicine. Ruthless. And nobody ever complained. We all watched that shit and it was just good TV. Now everybody is clutching pearls and talking about who needs to be kicked off the show. Child, this was light work. Hey, Cookie, thank you for coming in, child. This is light work compared to what they used to do. Married to Medicine was cutthroat. Kicking Mariah off the way they all did that. What else did they do that was crazy? Y'all know, do y'all not remember that? Even when she did it, everybody on the show said, Quad, you went too far. Like, they walked the dude out the event. They was like, Quad, we're not co-signing this, Quad. You went too far. They used to do that all the time. The fact of the matter is, and this is true in regards to Quad and Phaedra. Phaedra knew her ex was coming on the show. They actually show us a flashback. And I also believe that Phaedra knew that her ex-husband's thirsty wife was coming. That's why she invited Chet anyway. And the fact that Chet and Apollo went to a strip club after the big blowout between Phaedra and his wife tells us it was all smoke and mirrors. We don't need any more information. That was bullshit. It's a lie. Don't even get yourself tied up in it. The other lie is Quad and Greg. Greg plopped his new wife into a group that she couldn't handle. Greg does not get paid to be on this show. He encouraged his wife to be here. And he knew that part of it was going to be the drama between her and his ex-wife. She was fine with Apollo. She said she was fine with Apollo, but she's not dumb. She's not going to let somebody just take over. Phaedra's been on reality TV for a long time. For a very long time. She is very smart, very clever. Y'all are talking about a lawyer, somebody who does trickery in a courtroom. You know what I'm saying? As much as people called her dumb on the RHOA, when she used to fuck with them and get what she wanted out of, whatever the situation was, they would all say the same thing. Phaedra's smart. Phaedra knows X, Y, and Z. Phaedra got connections. Phaedra this. They all have said it. But they know that the girl's well connected and she knows She knows how to get things done. Now, did she expect for Apollo's wife to cuss her out the way he did? The way she did? Probably not. Probably not. Which is why she told Apollo, I'm not filming with you anymore. I'm not going to have a phone call with you to straighten out shit. The both of y'all are here because of me, and I'm on my way out the door. Apollo can't come back to Married to Medicine without Phaedra. He can't. Y'all know it. Elaine begged them to come on. What about Apollo and Shireen makes you think that they had to be begged? I watched the interview with Heavenly and Apollo. She barely got the words out, would you be interested? And he was already saying yes. Not only did he say yes, but he said that was really my goal. I want to be on the show. But again, he can't go on a show without Phaedra. Phaedra is his way in the door. And she said that. She said there isn't shit that Apollo has going on that he's not riding my coattails in on. And she said, it's for the both of y'all, just so you know. They were thirsty. He said it when Phaedra brought him on to the reunion. And everybody was like, oh my God, you look so good. I'm surprised to see you. How's things going? He wanted to be on that show. There was no convincing. There was no pulling anybody's arm behind their back. Heavenly didn't have to get any inside secrets on how to ask the question. Oh my goodness. Now, Apollo and his wife are divorcing, but that thirsty ass heifer was on RHOA, and she showed up there as a side chick, talking about, well, Phaedra isn't taking care of him. Girl, that's a bye, okay? Woo! But anyways, y'all, I hope I gave y'all some insight to things. Please let Shireen and Apollo stand on their own. They are not victims. Let Phaedra stand on her own. She's not a victim. Don't be stumping the yard for Greg to get any extra money. He got plenty, okay? Everybody on Married to Medicine knows how to do reality TV. I would say with the exception of Sweet Tea, who's still very, very green. We know enough about her relationship with Greg to know that he is a manipulator. He insults her. He does all these horrible things, and she recognizes it sometimes. So no, you were referring to Elaine. So let me also say this. Again, Sweet Tea would not have done that without the encouragement of her husband. As a new wife to a man that's going to go into another space with his ex, you're going to think about that entire thing, right? You're not going to, like, I don't even know how old you need to be. I've seen little kids in kindergarten. I've seen little girls and boys be possessive of someone they have a crush on in kindergarten. Like, we have to give these people more credit. I know the big thing in reality TV now with a lot of people on cast is to make it seem like they're going through some abusive situation. And you guys have no idea what we're going through. Get the hell off the show. Quit. But you got to stop playing us. You got to stop playing us, because the one thing you can never be in life is a business person of any kind and not understand how to move, period. I don't believe it. I think that right now there's a lot of people doing a little trickery, and we got to pull back on these people. It's not a trick. They know what's up. Greg was married to his ex-wife for many years on that show. He was a part of that show when she was bringing in gay men and accusing them of sleeping with other doctors. So I don't believe it. I don't believe it. He knows exactly who that person is. I agree with you. Val, okay? I think the problem was he didn't count on her having a man. Quad has always been quiet about her relationships, even though people know that she got something going on over there. She's always been quiet about her relationships. And at one point, it looks like she still may have been calling Greg, according to Sweet Tea, and asking him for certain favors that he honored, okay? But all of a sudden, she out here popping it, locking it, all the things with King. And Greg seemed like he was pissed. I mean, he was pissed. Mhm. But anyway, y'all, that is it. That's the review. Okay. I appreciate every single one of y'all for coming over. I hope that everybody has hit the like button. Okay. Hit the like button, share the video, follow me on all my platforms at DYANAROZAY. I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye bye.